What's in the bag is finally here. I know this is months overdue. You guys have been asking for this, so let's jump right in. We're gonna start with the driver. We've got the Frank and George head cover. If you know, you know. Love those guys. We've got the tailor-made Qi4D Core model. So as far as weighting goes, we've got essentially toe weighted. So everything's pretty much standard, but I have a 17-gram weight out there on the toe in the front. This helps me keep the spin down. I know that I have relatively low spin in general, but that's just something that has worked for me that I really like the kind of look, feel, and flight of. This is an 8-degree head. I have this set at 6 degrees of loft. I hit up on it a pretty good amount, so that allows me to kind of keep that attack angle that I like and that I'm accustomed to without launching the ball straight up in the air. This gives me a really good flight. That toe weight really helps me kind of work on and accommodate that fade that I've been working on, so a really great setup for me. Shaft is the Ventus Black Velo Plus 6TX. That's a mouthful. This is a shaft that I've been using for a while now. It plays right around 45.5. Great setup. I really like that I can be aggressive. I don't have to have the head kind of whipping around on me with a softer profile. But with that said, something else that I have that not a ton of people kind of do or have or maybe even think about is that in colder temperatures, my body's not moving the same way as it does in the warmer, kind of hotter temperatures. So I actually have a softer shaft in my bag to use for those colder months. So this is actually relatively the same profile, but 6S instead of 6TX. Makes it a little bit easier to swing, easier to load, and helps me get a little bit more out of it when it's a little colder outside. Next, we've got the mini driver. This has been an amazing addition to my bag back before the US Open qualifier. In April, we've got the R7 quad, 11.5 standard loft. Again, I play lower loft on my driver. I do the same here. This is, again, slightly toe weighted, but not nearly as much. This is set up because of the loft and the way that the head sets up. It's kind of an auto draw. So driver fades, mini driver draws. I can tee this low and hit stingers. I can tee it high and still carry it out there like 280 if I need to. Again, this has been an incredible weapon in my bag so far this year. Ventus Black, again, Velo Plus. This is 7X, so a little bit heavier, just as you would naturally go down in your bag. Shafts get a little bit heavier. This plays a little bit over 3-wood length, so kind of somewhere between 3-wood and driver, but again, has been performing for me really, really well this year. Next, we've got the 2 hybrid. This is 17 degrees set at higher, so add about 1.5 degrees for the 1.5 degree tailor-made loft sleeve. So this is playing 18.5. Kind of carries it obviously between my 4-iron and mini driver. So this is the Stealth Plus. This is an older model. We've got the Hazardous Black 6.0 85 gram low spin. This is not a shaft that I was fitted for. It just kind of worked out that when I bought the head, this is what was in it. It's worked out really well. I can hit this again. I can hit it pretty low if I need to, but I can also launch it up in the air coming into par 5s. This is a great club for me when I need to carry something around 250 or 240-ish off the tee. But since I've added the mini driver, I hit this far less because now I have so much confidence in that I can get it down the fairway a little bit more and still feel comfortable that it's going to be accurate. For irons, I'm going to grab 2 different clubs here. You'll understand why in a second. I've got 6-iron and I've got 8-iron. So these are both Titleist 2023 models. We have in 4, 5, and 6-iron, we have the T200. And then 7-iron down through my 50 degree, we actually have the T100. So certainly not rocket science here on why I do this. My 4, 5, and 6 are a little bit more forgiving. They have, I'm pretty sure, a little bit of a lower center of gravity that helps me get the ball way up in the air. It still has enough spin. I've got some lead tape on the back of all my irons because I love a heavier swing weight. It just allows me to feel where the club is much better and gets me on the path that I like to be on. And then the most unique thing about both of these irons, whether it's a T100 or T200, is that they're both around 4.5 degrees flat. So being somebody who used to be a flipper, part of that was caused by the fact that my irons were too upright. And so if you're looking down this angle, if a club is too upright, you kind of have to flip and throw your hands to get it down to start the ball more right. Now with these bent the way that I need them to be, it's just much easier to make the move that I want to make. So huge shout out here to Jared Shears over at Tri-County Golf Ranch. He was a huge piece in helping me understand and realize that and actually bending them for me. So that's been a tremendous, tremendous help to my iron game. I don't have to worry about missing left or the fear of missing left anymore. So again, thank you, Jared. Please go see him if you're in the kind of Cincinnati and Tri-County area. T100, we got the lead tape on there as well. That's 7-iron down through 50 degree. Don't need to talk too much about these. I love these irons. Don't see myself changing them anytime soon, but you never know. All right, let's jump quickly into wedges. So where is that 50 degree? There it is. A lot of people will have a 50 or 52 degree as part of their kind of wedge set. So for me, that would be Evoke, but I really like having this as part of my T100 set. For 50 degrees specifically, I tend to hit almost all full shots with this. And by having that kind of set wedge, I feel like this is a little bit more forgiving for me personally than the Vokies. So that's why I have the 50 degree as part of the set instead of a Voki. And lastly, real quick, we have a, whoop, these grips get sticky. So the 56 degree is going to be 8 degree bounce M grind. That's going to be the same for both of these wedges. I really like to kind of manipulate and open the face, do different things around the greens. And so that's why I like that grind and having pretty low bounce. I have a 62 degree wedge. I have a 56 and we have the 50, so that kind of covers the gaps for me. A lot of people will have an additional wedge just to be able to more easily cover those gaps, but with the way that I grew up playing, I'm pretty comfortable with kind of making some different swings, whether it's different tempo, speed, shorter, longer, to be able to cover those gaps, and that allows me to have those longer clubs in my bag to cover kind of the top side of the bag. So maybe not ideal for everybody, but that's what works for me. And then all the way throughout my bag, irons, wedges, etc., we have Dynamic Gold S300 shafts. That's something that I'm definitely very interested in looking into this winter and potentially changing. As I get a little bit older, I'm trying to kind of reduce that wear and tear on my body. So having potentially a lighter shaft might help with that, hitting a bunch of balls all the time. But also I'm just really interested in how it might impact ball flight, consistency, all those fun things. All right, and then lastly, you guys have heard me talk about this recently, is the Vision.1i from Lab. So most shocking thing to most people about this putter is it's 31.5 inches long. So I'm a short guy, I like to have my hands pretty low. So while it might seem pretty shockingly short to some people, works out really well for me. We've got the Diamana putter shaft. We've got the red head with the thick white alignment lines. That is a great visual for me. This looks really good in the basement putting green. I'm looking forward to getting out on the course this evening and tomorrow as I play in a little fun scramble. So 65 degree lie angle with it being a little bit shorter. That's just kind of a natural lie angle for me. Pretty unique to most people. This works out really well for me. I've been putting really well. This is just a little bit of an update that was in the works before some recent scores that I've shot, but I know it's going to work just as well or better. So that's the bag. I tried to do that as quick as possible while giving you all kind of the necessary detail. Let me know if you have any questions. Interested to see what you think. Let's get after it and have a great day.